Tony, you were in an amazing flow just then, and the video stopped. So yeah, if we can jump back in, please, bro.
It's always really tricky, but for me, I think just to kind of bring it together, I think we have a real unique opportunity through, well, any life's challenges always bring out the best in humanity, I feel. And I think I'm a sheer optimist. I'd never look at things negatively. As much as negativity is going on in the world, it's always an opportunity for me, but also I think it gives humanity a great opportunity to, and me as a practitioner, to be able to express this through and share these things with my clients through an open dialogue, or if I do a seminar, or if I do anything, not that I'm talking about this subject, but I always kind of want people to understand that they can be the greatest instrument of their own change. And when they do that, I feel that through their journey and through listening to other like-minded people who are kind of talking about the possibility of change, then I think for most of humanity, if we have that coming together, then I think through the last 3 years can only be an introduction to, well, we've seen the worst of it. Well, we're seeing little glimpses of light coming through here and there. Well, then the cracks start to open up, the light starts to come out a bit more, and you really start to see this beautiful, almost symphony of what the light of the human spirit brings around. So I think we're in for a great ride, and I think we're in for an exciting time. Because when I've been alive on this planet for 57 years, and there's been, when I look back at its history, it's a great way of actually seeing what we don't want. And I think it's this calling and the consciousness of man looking back, those who are awake. Remember, we don't need to have many awake souls in the grand scheme of things to really start pulling momentum forward. And I feel there's this almost rebirth happening. It's going to take a while, but I think we're on the right course. So all I want to say in leading this this question is that we just need to be going back within ourselves, doing some work here first before we worry about anything else, because only through doing some work within ourselves that we can become the best expression of ourselves, and we can contribute to a greater group. And we look at the likes of Gandhi and many inspirations. From one, many were drawn. So from people who are going, who are doing the work within themselves. And for me as a practitioner, it means, well, coming back to my core values, well, part of my core values is being the best version of myself, so I can actually be an example to men of my age, or to women of that age, or humanity in general, because that's inspiring. People say, I want some of that. So, and part of that comes back to me back here saying no, being told no, saying yes, you can be. The world's in a shit place right now. Granted, that is. But do we want to look at that? Yes. I'm not going to put my head in the sand and negate and ignore that. But no, I have a great opportunity to say I want to contribute to what I do want to see happen, and it starts with me. So that is kind of how I see, the next coming, being the greatest version of yourself to inspire the rest of the world.
Absolutely beautiful, mate. And this is the perfect segue into my last question for you. It's been a fantastic interview. My God, thank you so much. So,
my pleasure.
Phoenix Vision is dedicated to creating a transformative vision of health for its listeners. So my question is, what does transformation mean to you, and what would you like to transform in the future?
That's a great question. For me, simply, without thinking about it, it's transforming into being the best person I can be. I know, and for me, that means almost being, for me, it's just being the greatest expression of health. I love my health. I love what I do, and I don't see myself retiring ever from what I do, because I want to be healthy enough to do it. So for me, it's just becoming it's almost, I feel I've come to this earth in this beautiful vessel to be this instrument of just sheer potential. And for me, nothing is less. So for me, an encapsulation is just transforming into the most magnificent version that you can become, and then giving yourself permission to do it. Mm-hmm. And giving yourself absolute permission to say you can do, and more so. I don't take the word no, if, maybe, can't. That doesn't exist. It's how can I do it, and what do I need? What resources along the way do I need to get to that point? So that's my encapsulation.
And what would you like to see transform in the future?
For myself, or is it just for myself, or just at large?
Anything.
What I'd like to see transform is I'd love to be able to transform the lives of people so they can step into their own uniqueness, so they can be teachers not only to themselves but to their families, to be great examples, to be great role models, to be just people that are just nothing short of in awe of them. Because I think right now, for me, it's this, I'd love to see this transformation of the human being really come into its own. I really would. And I just think people have so much, I see so much in people, but, they just need, and for me, it's just seeing them evolve into something that they can be more of. I'd love to see, people, I'd love to see even through that, people who are in positions of, more authority, more people who are inspiring leaders or humanitarians or philanthropists or whatever it may be, and sharing this vision with them. So they can then, we can come together. And people think, oh, that's fluffy, that's light. I don't believe that at all. It's through one man's journey and one man's, uniqueness that inspires many. And for me, it's not just about the talk, it's about actually doing. It's participating in your own life. It's participating every day. And I don't believe how hard life is, because I've been down that road. There are people, there are resources, everything is showing up every day if you allow it. There's always something showing up in your life to get you where you need to be. And I firmly believe that, because I am here to tell anyone that I have been down that road, and I've been through all sorts of atrocities. And I even, I'll share this with the listeners, I've even thought about taking my life on more than one occasion back in some very, very dark times, but I didn't. And I always believe that the human soul, the human being, is ready to become the best version of themselves when they're ready. So for me, I'd like to see, for me as a coach, to be able to participate and to be a witness into someone's transformation, because it's only by me being an instrument of change to myself that people can use that as an example for them to aspire and change. So yeah, that would be something I'd love to see.
That's phenomenally beautiful, brother. I've got every hair on my body is stood on end at the moment.
Well, that's what,
man. I would describe what I've seen of your soul within this beautiful last 90 minutes or so is, it's just a very high expression of Phoenix energy. The transformation that you've gone through, coming from, such a devastating thing that many people will never get to experience. And you know what you did with that in terms of the transformation into the empowered, amazing soul you are today. And you were an empowered, amazing soul back then as well, of course, because that's how you got here. It's just been an absolute joy and a pleasure to share this dialogue with you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing what is like a really, I feel, important message for the listeners and the world to hear. So thank you. Thank you, brother.
Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've actually had a great time actually having, you know, this beautiful dialogue where we've shared and opened up and really shared some great things. So I do thank you from the bottom of my heart to having me on the podcast. And I thank the listeners for actually taking the time to listen to me this evening. So wherever you are, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Awesome. How can people find out more about you, Tony?
At the moment, you can get in contact. You can actually just visit my website, which is www.chekintohealth. That's CHEK in IN, the number 2 health.co.uk. You can go over to my YouTube channel where I share some great useful tips on the YouTube channel. And yeah, so and if you want to get in touch with me, you can actually just info@chekintohealth.com, and that's how you can get in contact with me if you want to ask me anything or find out more about me.
Phenomenal. Well, brother, thank you once again. Like, you legend.
Well, thank you so much, Jess. It's been amazing. So thank you again for having me on the podcast.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, buddy.
That's my pleasure. Thank you. Take care.
You too.